than I do. They're fake news. So Biden, on the other hand, Biden wrote the devastating 1994 crime bill, talking about super predators. That was Biden. You know, he walks around now talking about the black vote. He's the king of the super predators, and he wrote the 1994 crime bill that you talk about so much. I guess everybody here knows about that, especially if you happen to be black. And he was the one with the super predators, so just please remember that when you think you're going to vote Democrat, because you shouldn't vote Democrat. Biden's inflation, thank you. That's a big deal, too, because, you know, he tries to pretend like, oh, you know, nothing happened, nothing happened. He was the one. Biden's inflation has cost a typical American family $28,000. Millions of illegal aliens are pouring in, and they're taking your jobs. The black community is being hurt more by the illegal aliens, 16, 17 million. They're taking your jobs. You're down 6, 7% from where you were just 3 years ago with me. And it's going much lower because millions and millions of people are coming into your communities. It's no longer, every state is a border state. You've heard that. But they're coming into your community and they're taking your job. They're affecting the African Americans, and then after that, the Hispanic Americans more than any other group. And they're also affecting unions, because unions are starting to lose their grip because of it. They've never seen it. We're being inundated. Think of it. Millions of people are coming in from prisons, from mental institutions. They're terrorists at levels that we have never seen before. And in 2019, we had a survey done. How many terrorists were coming in? That was a Trump year, 2019. They said none. Now, I don't even believe that. I think that's too good. I wish the fake news wasn't fake then, but it was done by Border Patrol, et cetera. And they said no terrorists came in 2019. I can't believe that. But as soon as they took over, they have thousands of terrorists coming into our country, and we're all going to be hearing about that. We have to get them out. One of the first things we're doing is we're getting them out, right? They're coming in at levels never seen before. I say that by the time we get him out, and again, he's the worst president in the history of our country. And you know what? He's been the worst president for black people. He's been the worst president for Hispanic people. There's never been anybody so bad. And remember what I said about the crime bill. Under Biden, real wages for African-American workers are down 6%. That's the biggest decrease ever in a short period of time. You're down 6% since he took over. 100% of the net jobs created under Biden have gone to the illegals. Did you know that? 100% of the jobs created have gone to illegals. And then you're supposed to vote for this guy, and he doesn't know the difference. You're not talking about him. You're talking about people that control him, fascists, communists, people that want to see our country destroyed. So I'm going to quickly rebuild the greatest economy in history. We had the greatest economy in history. We're going to stop inflation. And remember, even if you were making the same thing as you were made, you were losing a fortune, because with food prices and with all of the prices of interest rates, which went so high, and you can't get money, but with interest rates, housing costs, rent costs, all of the different costs, you're talking about 30, 40, and even 50%, depending on what items you want to use. And people were making, if you're making the same amount of money, even if you made more, you're way behind the 8 ball. And people that actually, somebody said, gee, I've been treated nicely, I got wage increases, but I'm losing a fortune compared to when Trump was running things. We had almost no inflation, and they had inflation of a number, the real number, if you really get into the real number, it's probably 40 or 50% when you add things up, when you don't just put in the numbers that they want to hear. Look at just the cost of energy. I'm going to save the auto industry. Instead, we're going to be building all cars, not just electric cars. It's ridiculous. They don't go far. And they're fine. Some people might want them. And we're going to rebuild Detroit. We're going to get the car companies. Under Biden, you're not going to have any more car business. And whoever Sean Fain is, he's the head of the union. I can tell you the United Auto Workers are voting for Trump. This guy went along with this ridiculous concept of switching over to all electric cars. They're all going to be made in China. They're very expensive, and they don't go far. They don't go far. So we're going to end that on day one. We're going to end that mandate. And if you want an electric car, you'll absolutely get it. But you'll get gasoline and you'll get hybrids. You'll get whatever it is, and we'll make sure that it's done. We're going to seal the border, and we're going to stop the invasion of your jobs and the invasion of our country. It's an invasion of your jobs. They are taking away your jobs when they pour in. And it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. They're taking away your jobs. We'll bring back public safety and defend our communities for law-abiding American citizens. We need, look, the crime is most rampant right here and in African-American communities. And more people see me and they say, sir, we want protection. We want police to protect us. We don't want to get robbed and mugged and beat up or killed because we want to walk across the street to buy a loaf of bread. They want it so badly. The fake news doesn't talk about it. But the black population wants law enforcement more than any other population. So I think it's an important thing to say. And I'll keep the radical left-wing gender ideology away from our youth. Gender ideology. Wow. You know, it's an amazing thing. Every time I say that, it gets that kind of an audience. From all groups, from all communities. It's incredible how that continues. Like, I will keep men out of women's sports. People say, that's another thing. Well, just to step it up, we will close the borders. They will be closed tight like they were, and only people will come into our country. They have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. And we'll also support, which is very important for your community, universal school choice. It's so important. So with all of that, I want to just say that it's Carlos and everybody, it's been an honor to be here. It's an incredible place. I have a lot of friends here, and we're going to do things. We're going to bring back the auto industry. The best thing we can do is bring back the auto industry. If you look at what Biden's done, you know, we got rid of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and we did the USMCA, that's Mexico, Canada, the best trade deal they say ever made in this country. Actually, the trade deal I made with China was just as good or better, but I don't talk about it because of the COVID, what they brought upon, the China virus. Has anyone ever heard of the China virus? We want to be as accurate as possible. But we made great trade deals, but USMCA gave us something that was very special. And if you look right now, they're building massive auto plants in Mexico, and they think they're going to build automobiles, and they're going to send them into our country and get rid of all your jobs in Michigan and get rid of all your jobs all over the country, your auto jobs. They're building the biggest auto plants anywhere in the world right now in Mexico, fairly close to the border. And let me tell you, those cars aren't coming into this country unless they pay a massive tariff, because we want those plants built in our country, not in that country. We're going to bring back the auto industry to Michigan. We're bringing it back to Michigan. We're going to bring back the auto, and I can tell you